There is a growing recognition that the humanitarian system is not working as it should. Traditional assistance models are often inefficient, unsustainable, and lead to dependency. The world is changing rapidly, and new and creative solutions are urgently needed. In response, there is an emerging innovation turn in the humanitarian world. Traditional humanitarian organizations are gradually exploring new partnerships, the role of technology, and the role of the private sector. The very idea of innovation, more commonly used in the private sector, is being integrated as a methodology for adaptation and change. Up to now, a significant and growing part of the humanitarian innovation debate has focused on improving organizational response, piloting new products and processes in areas as diverse as health, shelter, and energy. But an additional and sometimes neglected part of that debate is the innovation of crisis-affected communities themselves. Refugees offer one example of the need and potential for humanitarian innovation. Around the world, over 10 million of the world's 15 million refugees are in so-called protracted refugee situations, in which they're often stuck in camps or settlements for many years. They often don't have the right to work or freedom of movement, and are left indefinitely dependent on humanitarian assistance. This represents a waste of talent and human potential. The Humanitarian Innovation Project was created in 2012 with an initial mission to undertake research on the role of innovation, technology, and the private sector in refugee assistance. From the beginning, our guiding ethos was a focus on bottom-up innovation by refugees themselves. Beginning with research in Uganda, we have tried to recognise that refugees have skills, talents, and aspirations. They have to adapt to new markets, social networks, and regulatory environments. Yet despite the constraints, displaced populations are frequently part of vibrant economic systems. They are often entrepreneurial and frequently innovative. We chose to focus the study on Uganda because it represents a relatively positive case. It is a country in which the government has taken the step to allow refugees the right to work and a significant degree of freedom of movement. It therefore shows the boundaries of the possible if refugees are given basic levels of freedom. Our research focused on two refugee settlements, Nakivale and Changwali, and the capital city Kampala. In addition to lots of interviews and focus groups, we conducted a survey with 1,600 refugees.
Throughout our work, we've taken a participatory approach. Our research team was made up of refugees from the communities that we were studying. And this approach not only gave us really valuable and important insights, but also allowed us the opportunity to feed back something to the community through the training.
I realized how the potential that it can present for refugees in Uganda. In fact, not only in Uganda, we can say throughout Africa.
Our research findings challenge 5 popular assumptions, 5 common myths about the economic lives of refugees. That refugees are economically isolated, that they're a burden on host states, that they're economically homogenous, that they're technologically illiterate, and that they're dependent on humanitarian assistance. In each case, our data challenges, or at least fundamentally nuances, each of these assumptions. The refugee context in Uganda highlighted for us the potential for innovation within the so-called affected communities, within all types and stages of humanitarian crisis. It has led us to consider ways in which humanitarian crisis can become the basis of sustainable opportunities, and to look systematically at innovation spaces around the world to understand how bottom-up innovation might be facilitated to empower affected communities to help themselves. Broadening from our initial refugee focus, HIP is now working to inform a range of humanitarian actors across the United Nations, NGOs, the private sector, the military and community-based organisations on ways in which the skills, talents and aspirations of affected communities can be better mobilised to improve humanitarian response. Our research aims to be relevant to both academia and practice. While many people are now working within the broad area of humanitarian innovation, our particular focus places the affected populations at the heart of our analysis. While retaining a focus on refugees, we're building on these initial insights to rethink how humanitarian innovation can be better adapted to build sustainable opportunities for affected communities across the emergency, protracted, and recovery phases of crisis. Our work is just one piece of a much broader tapestry. Many people and organisations are today working directly or indirectly on key aspects of humanitarian innovation. To harness our collective potential, dialogue and collaboration are needed more than ever, particularly across sectors. Every one of us here today represents part of a humanitarian ecosystem, whether as governments, international organisations, NGOs, business, community-based organisations, universities, or individuals. HIP2014 aims to play a convening role within that ecosystem. As the first major academic conference on humanitarian innovation, HIP2014 aims to stimulate dialogue and debate. It seeks to support the development of new ideas and networks. Over 2 days, we will explore questions such as how to improve organisational response, how to engage affected community, and how to think critically about humanitarian innovation. We hope that by working together, we can turn humanitarian challenges into sustainable opportunities for all. We warmly welcome you all to Oxford.